Welcome to today's tutorial on images and forms. Images and forms are fundamental components of modern web design. First, images enriches our web content, making it more engaging and visually appealing. Images can convey messages quickly, evoke emotions, and improve user experience by providing visual context. While forms, they are crucial for user interaction, enabling tasks such as submitting information, performing searches, logging in. Forms facilitate communication between users and the website, collecting and processing user input efficiently. By the end of this session, you will have a solid understanding of how to use basic image tags and various form input types to create interactive and visually appealing web pages. So why are images important in terms of web pages? So again, image enhances web content and it also enhances user engagement. They provide visual appeal. They break up text and and can convey complex information quickly and effectively. So in order to embed images into a web page, you will need a img tag. Remember that the img tag is a self-closing tag. It has the src attribute and the alt, which is for alternative text. So the alt attribute describe the image content for accessibility if the image is not properly loading. So we have here the structure of our HTML. So we have a sample image for scene.png, and we also have our index.html. So the image will be relative to its location. So for example, I say image.src.scene.jpg. So it will depend upon what will be the extension. So this for this one, we have the scene.png. So the difference with the img tag is it doesn't have a closing tag such as the header. So for now, in order to resize this one, I will use its native property. For example, we have a width and we have a height of 100, or we can make it larger, 300 by 300. So this is the simplest way on how you can embed images to your web page. So again, the src attribute will decide so what image to load, and the alternative text is used for accessibility. Forms, meanwhile, provides user interaction. So the form, which we'll be creating here, so in essence, all form entity in HTML must be enclosed in the form tag. So for now, we will not provide any action. So in future tutorial, such as backend, so we will provide the specific forms. Okay, so under the form, there are a lot of elements that we can do. So for the input, we can have basic text, numerical values, password input, checkbox for selection, radio for choosing only one option, file for upload, color to allow user to select color, date for date input, email for email addresses, and URL for specific URL. So in order to create input text, we provide the input tag with a specific type. For example, we provide the input, then we have the type, then you provide what type of input would be, will it be. For example, this one is a text type. So another one, so for now, I will use the line break for the layout, but when we arrive on the CSS portion, I will teach you how to design effective forms. So the other one is type number. So it only accepts numerical value. So let's make the line break double that you can see the spacing behind. So this one only accepts numerical value. So this one accepts text, accepts also numerical value. Then you can also do input type password. So, so this will provide additional masking for the text, such as this one. Also, we can also do checkbox. For example, we have checkbox. Example, we have, for example, pencil. That's one. So, for example, we have bag. Another one, for example, we have a pen. So you can select possible combination if you're using specific checkbox. While you can also use the radio. So this radio button will allow you to only select one specific option. For example, it's either you're a male or a female. So it needs a certain name so that you cannot select both of them. So this is the example for the male and the female. So you can only select one. But if you remove this one, so you can check it both. So the name must match in order for you to select only one. Then we have also the use of file. So for example, input type file. So this will lead us to selecting specific file. So if you want to upload, we can also have input type, which is, this is new. For example, if you select specific colors, so you can select this one. We have also date, date for selecting date. So this is the calendar. You have also have an email. So any valid email will do here. So nothing much difference with the text for the email, but it has a validation that only a valid email will do. So we also have URL. For example, we have input type URL. So this one only accepts specific URL. So what can we do with such form input? So for example, in text, we can have the placeholder, the read only, and the disabled one. So for example, so this one, and I say, for example, placeholder, so enter your name. So a placeholder provides a hint for the expected input. So for example, I will write my name. So that will be the placeholder. So if you add the property of read only, so I'm typing in the input type text, but I cannot type because this one is a read only. So you can also do disabled. So this will not allow the user to make any changes. This 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 type of input type is perfect for calculation for the final result wherein the user cannot modify anymore the specific form. We also have the forms required for data handling. So if you make this required, so it will prohibit a blank input also. So can I remove the required? If submitting forms, especially on the back end side, if the input type text is required, it 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 will not allow form submission if the text has no content or is blank. So we can also have the minimum length. If you aspire to have a minimum length, for example, we have a minimum length is equivalent to 3. So as I type this one, so wait, it's not working. I think this working. So this means that the minimum length of the text box that we required is up to 3. Well, the maximum length, for example, is 3. So I cannot type anymore, though I'm typing on the keyboard. The max length will be 3. So that's the meaning of the min length and the max length. So again, if required, so during form submission, so this cannot be blank if you have a required element. More on this, if you see my tutorial on back-end programming. So the pattern, so if you're familiar with the regular expression, so the pattern uh, means that there's specific pattern of text that you must follow. For example, email, for example, phone number. So more on this one, but there is a pattern attribute. So please Google regular expression if you want to learn the patterns. So also, you also have a drop down menu. For example, we have the select. So for now, I will remove this one because we're not yet on CSS. I want you to focus solely on the structure. So this one is for drop down menu. So if you want to select a specific option based on a drop down menu. So this is a combination of the select option. So value is required. So for example, you have apple. So this one, another one. Example, you have banana. And let's try one more. How about cherry? So this is an example of a drop down menu. You can see at the bottom of my screen. You can also utilize a specific grouping. For example, I'll copy this one. So we'll utilize specific groupings. But for the real estate space, so I will create a form here at the beginning. So this is the form. I'll put a line break here. Okay. So this apple. So you can utilize the op group example to group similar category. For example, you have an op group label is equal to citrus. So this is the option group. So you need to indent this and you need to finish also with its corresponding closing tag. As you can see here, so we have citrus. So this one is group. So if you create another one, for example, I'll copy this one. So about berries. So let's fix this. Say orange. Also orange. So about just two. Lemon. So one is lemon. Then we have the berries group, which is strawberry. Okay, so you can do this. So you need Shift Alt. Sample is blueberry. So you can group this one. So citrus, so berries and strawberries. The design is not very good yet. So I will teach you to design forms again. So we are only studying the basics of the HTML. So this one is the form. If you want drop down menu. How about text areas? So text areas, for example, so usually you will use this if you want to comment a big chunk of text, right? Like writing an email, for example. So let's provide a line break. So you can do this. So in order to resize a text area, you can use columns and rows. For example, our text area has a rows of, for example, is 10 and a column of 40. So this will be the text area. So as you increase the column size, so the text area is also increasing. So for example, let's make it 20. So the Google Chrome text area is resizable. So you can also use here, for example, is placeholder. Enter your message. So this also works. Validation, min length, max length. So in text area, the max length and the min length will also work as much as the same with the text. So these are your basic forms in HTML. So the validation I will teach you when we are on the advanced lecture. So thank you very much for attending this day session. So I'll provide additional resources for the next step for further learning. Thank you very much.